Hi guys, I'm Anshika, your psychology teacher. In this video, we'll be covering the topic effects of stress on psychological functioning and health. So basically, we'll be studying four major effects of stress on our emotional, physiological, cognitive, and behavioral. What are these effects? Okay, so we'll start with emotional. Emotional effects of stress, be it physical stress or be it psychological stress. So basically, those who suffer from stress are more far likely to experience mood swings. Emotion से क्या ही समझ में आता है आपको? That it's something related to your emotions. It can be mood swings. The person is crying a lot. The person is happy a lot, and they show erratic behavior. And sometimes, in extreme cases, the person may alienate them or try to isolate them from their family and friends. And in some cases it can start a vicious circle of decreasing confidence, and decreasing confidence lead to more serious emotional problems. And some examples are basically feelings of anxiety. The person feels that he cannot do a work properly, or he gets anxious a lot. And depression, we all know what is depression, and we all know that if a person is going through it, it can actually cause them really bad harm. Increased physical tension, increased psychological tension, these are some examples of emotional effects. And mood swings, it says examination is anxiety a phenomena which we'll study. Look, it's a topic in a box, and we'll study all the topics of box in the last video of this chapter. Now, next topic is physiological effects. Okay, what are the physiological effects? Basically, when a human body is put under too much stress, okay, it be it physical stress or psychological stress, it releases some certain hormones which are known as adrenaline and cortisol. Okay, and these hormones produces marked changes, okay, in heart rate. By increasing the heart rate, blood pressure level, it can increase the blood pressure level or decrease metabolism and physical activity. Look, if the body is put under a short term stress, it's really good for a person. Okay, it motivates them to make a change, it motivates them to complete their work. But if the body is put under high term stress or a long term stress, it can actually damage the body. And for example, we can say that let's take an example that a kid has an exam tomorrow and he hasn't studied at all. He is under the stress, and under the stress he gets motivated to study, so he studies only that much at least that he can pass the exam tomorrow. But in some extreme cases, if the stress is prolonged, it can affect the body. How? We'll study now. Look, although this physical reaction help us to function more effectively when we are under pressure for shorter periods of time, just as I explained, it can be extremely damaging to the body in the long term effects. Like example of physiological effects are release of epinephrine, norepinephrine. And if these hormones are released, it slows down the digestive system, expansion of air passages in the lungs, increased heart rate, and the constriction of blood vessels. Now comes the cognitive effects. What are the cognitive effects of psychological stress? Look, what do you mean by cognitive? You basically mean that something is related to your mind. So effects, basically, how does stress affect your mind? Okay, if the pressure due to stress continue, like you are in a really long term stressed condition, okay, one may suffer from mental overload. Okay, if you are writing this answer, you have to mention this word or underline the word mental overload. Okay, underline it. Okay, this suffering from high level of stress now can rapidly cause individuals to lose their ability to make sound decisions. Like if a person is suffering from long term stress, cognitively, the person can lose their ability to make sound decisions. Means if the person has not the ability to make sound decision, it will make faulty decision, be at home, in career or workplace. And then a person makes faulty decisions. It also leads to, in some cases, arguments, failure, financial loss, or even in the extreme cases, loss of job. Cognitive effects of stress. How can you understand or how can you see that the person is suffering from cognitive stress? You can see that the person do not concentrate on anything. They has very poor concentration. They have reduced short term memory capacity. Okay. Now we'll come to the next topic, which is behavioral effects. What does the word behavior means? Means the negative changes in the behavior. So when these stress affects our behavior in many forms, okay, be it eating less nutritional food, okay, increase intake of stimulants, be it caffeine, cigarettes, alcohol, and other drugs such as tranquilizers. Okay, look, tranquilizers now can be addictive and has side effects, and they can have really bad side effects on your behavior, such as loss of concentration, poor coordination, dizziness. Some of the typical behavior effects of stress seen are disrupted sleep pattern. The person does not get any kind of sound sleep, increased absenteeism. In this case, like, let's take an example. The college student is under a pressure, he starts taking drugs, their absenteeism increase. It can be a sign of cognitive stress, or it can be a sign of psychological stress, or in case behavioral stress, and reduced work performance. Now we'll be covering the topic stress and health. Okay, तुम्हें पता है, तुमने कभी देखा है कि तुम्हारा कोई फ्रेंड या फिर तुम्हारा कोई क्लासमेट जब भी एग्जामिनेशन बहुत पास आ रहे होते हैं वो बीमार पड़ जाता है, ठीक है, उसका स्टमक अपसेट हो जाता है, या बॉडी एक्स होने लगते हैं, या फिर नोजिया फील करता है वो, या डायरिया, या इन सम केसेस फीवर ऑल्सो. एंड तुमने कभी ये देखा है, जो इंसान अपनी फैमिली में खुश है, दे आर हैप्पी इन देयर लाइफ, दे हैव सम सोशल सपोर्ट, they fall less sick as compared to those who are unhappy in their life. Okay, like chronic daily stress can divert an individual's attention from caring for herself or himself. मतलब कि जो डेली के जो स्ट्रेसेस होते हैं, लाइक एक इंडिविजुअल अपने काम से स्ट्रेस है, कोई एजुकेशन से स्ट्रेस है, कोई डिफरेंट रीजन से स्ट्रेस है, एंड ये जो डेली क्रॉनिक डेली स्ट्रेसेस होते हैं ना, ये एक इंडिविजुअल का माइंड या फिर अटेंशन हटा सकते हैं कि ताकि वो अपनी केयर करने से. ओके, द इंडिविजुअल इज नॉट able to care for herself or himself under the stress. And when stress is prolonged, and जब stress हद से ज़्यादा पार हो जाता है, it affects our physical health and impairs our psychological functioning. Stress is prolonged, it goes long term, it affects our physical health. Okay, it impairs our psychological functioning, means we are not able to make sound decisions, means we are not capable of making sound decisions. People experience exhaustion and attitudinal problems when the stress due to demand from the environment and constraints are too high and little support is available from family and friends. Look, जब एक पर्सन पे या फिर एक इंडिविजुअल पे बहुत ज़्यादा स्ट्रेस है हर एक चीज़ का, एंड उसके पास फैमिली या फ्रेंड्स का सपोर्ट नहीं है या फिर बहुत कम सपोर्ट है, the person can experience exhaustion and attitudinal problems. Exhaustion, be it physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion, everything. And attitudinal problems means they can get rude to anybody without any reason because they are already under so much stress. Now it says the physical exhaustion. अब फिजिकल एग्जॉशन हमें कैसे पता चलता है? फिजिकल एग्जॉशन के साइंस होते हैं क्रॉनिक फैटीग, वीकनेस, लो एनर्जी. मेंटल एग्जॉशन भी तो एक चीज़ होती है. मेंटल एग्जॉशन क्या होती है? उसके हमें फॉर्म पता चलता है इरिटेटेबिलिटी, एंजाइटी, दैट द पर्सन इज फीलिंग हेल्पलेस, feeling of helplessness, hopeless, the person is hopeless, he doesn't have any hope. And this state of, and it's important, this state of physical, emotional and psychological exhaustion is known as burnout. What is burnout? When the person is exhausted physically, emotionally and psychologically, this particular state is known as burnout. And the person is exhausted in all these three dimensions at the same time. Look, there is also convincing evidence to show that the stress can produce changes in immune system. Look, if the stress is prolonged, it can produce changes in the immune system and increase the chances of someone becoming ill. Like, if the stress is prolonged, the person can suffer from physical illness. They can suffer from diarrhea, they can suffer from nausea, they can suffer from fever. And stress has been implicated to the development of cardiovascular disorders. Look, if the stress is prolonged, in extreme cases, the person or the individual can suffer from cardiovascular disorder, high blood pressure, as well as psychosomatic disorders, including ulcers, asthma, allergies, and headaches. Okay, these are basically the symptoms of what happens when the person or an individual is under a long term stress. Researchers estimate that stress plays an important role in 50 to 70% of all physical illness. Means if the person or the individual is able to control their stress, they can lessen their percentage for a physical illness. Like, really, 50 to 70% of all physical illness is related to stress. Studies also reveal that 60% of medical visits are primarily for stress related symptoms. So basically, if you want to live a healthy life, you have to control your stress. Hi guys, with this we end the video. In next video, we'll be covering the topic general adaptation syndrome, which is a very important topic of this chapter. If you like the video, please like, comment, and share. Thank you.